Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up, War Edition. We have Mikhail H19. I don't know, there's some weird spelling. We're gonna call him Mike H19 for today. They brought in their war defense. Yes, we do war teams also. It just gets a little more tricky because we haven't done them in a while, but war's kind of gaining some ground these days, especially with players like Pathfinder Gaming putting out cool war videos. Be sure to check that out. We had, speaking of Pathfinder Gaming in chat, in chat and on voice, we had Bendable Straws and Updog and Strategy Shiro coming in helping us with these. So thank you very much to those content creators for their assistance, plus all the others that were in chat today going over these teams. Here we go. Room number 1. This is a team. It does things. It's good enough. It's Quicksilver added in there to spice it up. Technically, you should be moving Luke Cage not to the outside, somewhere in the middle probably would be a great place for Luke Cage to go. But at this size, it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go A- on this team because the Luke Cage is underbuilt or out of place, depending on how you wanna look at it. This team is good enough. Heroes for Hire is just something you kind of got to throw in there. Hopefully you have some of those members built big enough to actually do something. All right. Team number 2 is, well, it's kind of some leftover junk. And there's 3 things we can do with room number 2. We can leave it as is and just kind of treat it like a filler defense. These 2 parts don't really synergize well. But they're not being used on offense, and we didn't have very many good places for them to go elsewhere on the other defense. But what we do in room 2 is going to dictate what we do in some other rooms. So there are 3 choices. We could leave it as is, which I don't really like it. I think this is going to be a C team at best. It's pretty meh. Or we could go with our second choice, which is Cabal, Kang, and Absorbing Man. But those are some really powerful tunes that could be used elsewhere for offense. And I'm not sure if we want to combine the 2 and use them as a defense here, which is still probably going to get picked off. Or the third choice, and this is my personal favorite, put a full Pegasus team in here. It's pretty challenging, and I think that's probably the way to go. All right, as for the way it is now, it has no synergy, really. I mean, you have Striker Raider going on there, 3 strikers, 1 person putting on vulnerables and a healer that isn't really going to revive much. It's really not. This is just filler. I don't like it. I think you got to do some major changes by getting rid of this team for the most part. In room 3, we have the Hive Mind with Noir. This is a pretty decent thing to do, but we can make better use of different players. 1, we're going to take Noir and move him to offense because the Spider Society is kind of crushing it on offense, and we want that full 5-piece Spider Society. And instead, we're going to place Firestar in place of Noir, which is going to have the same basic effect and be just as powerful. A Team Firestar going early, putting out some bleeds, doing damage, hopefully getting the Hive Mind team rolling. Then we also want to take out Venom and replace him with Red Goblin. That's going to be the better choice. He's got the taunt, he's got the revive, and he's got great damage. He's a little bit slower than Venom, I think, but he's just the superior choice. So I think that's the way to go. Firestar and Red Goblin over Noir and Venom, and then placement isn't super crucial. I do like the ISOs and the placement as it is, so I think that's going to be just fine there. In room 4, we have the New Avengers, and I'm not excited about this team. Some people say that they still have some value, but a lot of us aren't too excited about it. They seem to be falling off rather quickly. The best thing that we can recommend for this is to change the ISO on Thing to a Skirmisher. He does not place vulnerables with his retaliation because it's not a retaliation. You're being inflicted damage when you hit him. Imagine punching a brick wall with your bare fist. It hurts, right? That's kind of the idea there. But it will help him land his negative effects. I think it's a stun or something, or a trauma. I don't remember. I don't build this team. I don't play with them. I don't like them, and I don't think people should build them if they don't have to. But yeah, let's change Thing to a Skirmisher is the best we can do. Otherwise, I'm going to give this like a B+. It's pretty meh, but like it's a thing you can put on defense, and they're just kind of there. It's not that exciting. If you wanted to build the whole team bigger, at higher levels in war, they are being used with the right compositions, but that's something that you need to talk to your War Alliance leader and find out what you need to do. Team number 5 is the Extreme. Now, just about any composition of the extreme on defense is going to draw the superior 6, so it's kind of what you want to use. I like the Rogue one myself over Cyclops, but you could put Cyclops in here if you want to use Rogue elsewhere. She's a powerful character, probably still going to draw the same stuff. But for me, I think this is a simple A, works good, placement's fine. I don't have any problems with it as it stands. And finally, we get on to room number 6. Not finally, I keep doing Crucible videos. We have 10 rooms to go over, sorry. We're going to take out Dormammu and put in Doom. We like the placement. I think it's fine. There's a case to be made to changing the placement, but I think this is the placement. You want Doom adjacent to Gwenpool because she's going to be taunting. Hopefully that splash damage will trip up that Doom and push him. E-Force is a great counter to this team, so putting Doom in there makes it tough because P-Force has a ton of adjacent and splash damage. Makes it very tricky when Gwen is taunting, and you really don't want to push that Doom and get that time platform. So I think that Doom would make this better. That allows you Dormammu for other things elsewhere. Moving on to room number 7. This is a fine team with Rhino, but this Rhino's too small. And I'm not telling you to build Rhino bigger. I don't think that's the way to go. I think you replace Rhino. Now, if you didn't go full Pegasus in 2, you could put Kestrel in here in place of Rhino, and that's going to stop that Underworld counter because the minions won't be able to pop out. Okay? Otherwise, if you did something different in room 2, you could put Deathpool in here. That's not really going to help with that Underworld counter, but it's going to make other stuff really painful to use on this team. I think that's going to be a better choice. Third option is you build Rhino bigger, and you've got 2 diamonds on him, so that's not a horrible situation. He is a Sinister 6 member that can be used there, but he's like one of the last members on Sinister 6 that you want to build big. So, my advice, I think Kestrel in here is one of the best choices, but of course that compromises what you do in room 2. Yeah, this isn't terrible. It's just the Rhino isn't stopping what you want him to stop because he's too small and he's going to end up dying on the opening move. I think it'll still stop other teams that use blind, but just not that Underworld team. So I think we change him out with either Kestrel or Deathpool. As for the ISOs and the placement, I think they're great. I think this is a great placement setup. So I'm going to go A-. You're on the right track, just don't have enough power to make this work. Team number 8 puts me to sleep. Infinity Watch still alive today in both Crucible and War. We have Infinity Watch filling the ranks. It's an A team, unfortunately. It's what you do. You put them out there and they soak up stuff. And in room number 9, we have a similar team. Has to run the 5-piece. Don't break this up. You need all those synergies. You need all those passives on the 5-piece team. And it does what it does. It pulls certain teams. It's not very exciting, but you put it out there so your opponents have to play by the script. I like the placement on this with Big Time Spider-Man in the middle. It forces things like a lizard attack to hit the wrong person, and you end up tripping up that Spider-Man Big Time, and he snaps back and deletes your team and makes it kind of messy. So this is it's what you do. It's built right, and it's how it's done. Again, this is another team that if you really wanted to, you could take them bigger, but I do believe that they're falling off, and we have counters for it. And I think that you just go with something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and give it an A. It's another snooze kind of team, but there's not a whole lot more to do. Did I mention that we're operating in Plat 3 at 60 million TCP? Just so you guys know where this is and where we're fitting into things. All right, and finally, room 10. Finally, room 10. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take out Firestar, because remember, we're using her with Hive Mind, and instead we're gonna put America Chavez in on defense. It's gonna go Miss Marvel Hardlight, America Chavez, then probably Cap Sam, hopefully getting him to his first turn a little sooner. For those of you who want to know why we're doing America Chavez has a passive that gives 25% turn bar on spawn to her adjacent allies on war defense only. For that reason and that reason alone, you build America Chavez to level 64 and T4 her passive and don't do anything else. All you want is to change how her team works when she's paired up with him, whatever team that is. And once you build her to level 64 and T4 her passive, you will probably be using her on a war defense for the rest of your game as you play Marvel Strike Force. So that's what we want to do. America Chavez over Firestar in room 10. Tell me what you think about Room 2. We kind of talked about this a lot. We didn't know how it worked or what to do with it. That's why we had multiple options for Room 2 today. It's just, war is becoming one of those things that I'm not paying as much attention to as I should. Some alliances are paying less, some alliances are paying more attention to war. And so it gets a little bit more challenging. So please, send in your picks of your war teams. I'd love to get more up here. It keeps me fresh, keeps me thinking, and it keeps other content creators coming in here and making fun of me for my lack of knowledge. And so if you want to be a part of them making fun of me behind the scenes, then you got to go to Twitch, baby. You'll see a link probably like right over here, right? For Twitch. Click on that, would you? And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.